Hello, how's everyone doing? Ah, hi Warevo. Editing a video and adjusting some audio settings before recording your next few videos. I see. Well, welcome back to the stream. So, we're going to be continuing my Japanese coach today. Tomorrow, I plan on continuing my Monster Sanctuary, as it will be the Steam Creature Collector Fest that week, which is awesome. I definitely want more people to play more monster taming games, so yeah, I'm playing Monster Sanctuary to kind of celebrate that, and maybe I'll even get Cassette Beast, since a lot of people seem to, like, talk about that game as well. You know, you gotta expand your horizons when it comes to playing monster taming games. You can't just play the big one, you know? Besides, they're bullying Pal World right now. Anyhow, let me just... I'm just making a post right now. Let's see. Copy video link. Okay, I think we're ready to start. Sorry for being a little bit late, because I was trying to figure some more stuff out on Restream, which I am using to... what is it? I'm using it to live stream on both Twitch and YouTube. I'll be lurking, so I'll probably have the stream muted as I record so I can focus, but I'll be here to support a brother. Thank you. I'm not sure how interested you are in learning Japanese, but that's what I'll be doing. Not this one. This one. There we go. So, this stream we are going to go through lessons 31 through 40 of my Japanese coach. And this one's rather important because if you are playing along, this would be where the game will start to use a little more kana than before. That said, as mentioned several times before, there are some mini-games that just do not support kana, so you'll still be seeing some romaji while playing this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be learning about is places. But first, we have Lake Mashu to learn about. Lake Mashu is a landlocked crater lake formed in the caldera of a dormant volcano. Mashu is famous for its water clarity and the fog that envelops its surface. How is that name pronounced anyway? Mashu. Lake Mashu. No pitch accents on the G-show. Oh well. Let's learn about places. Right now we're going to focus on asking where places are. I talked a little bit about it before. So we have, where is the restroom? Oh, they're introducing kanji a little early here.
お手洗いはどこですか?
お手洗いはどこですか? And then where is the train station?
駅はどこですか?
駅はどこですか? So that's how you ask where something is. You would say the place you're looking for, followed by wa doko desu ka. We use the particle wa because we are assuming that the person we are asking is familiar with the place that we want to go, whether it be the washroom or the train station. When you first arrive in Japan, these simple phrases will be your best friends. Study the sentences to see what is different so you can put your own places in instead. Once you know how, you'll be able to ask where anything is. So we have train station, eki. We've learned that plenty of times before. We have the front desk,
フロントデスク
fronto desk. We have gate,
門
mon. We have the escalator,
エスカレータ
escaleta. And locker,
ーロッカ
rocca. So we already have plenty of words that sound like the words we use. These are written in katakana, and they are spoken pretty much just like how we speak of them, just with, you know, a Japanese accent. So, eki, fronto desk, mon, escaleta, rocca. Even simple things like denwa wa doko desu ka? Where is the telephone? So yeah, telephone,
ー電話
denwa. In addition, we have taxi stand,
タクシー乗り場
taxi noriba. So noriba, I believe, is a place to board a taxi. Then we have drinking fountain,
水飲み場
mizu no miba, a place to drink water. So yeah, if you're looking for a water fountain, this is what you refer to it as. Baggage claim,
預かり所
azukarisho, a place to claim baggage. If you know your Yu-Gi-Oh memes, Baru Eyes White Dragon or Draw Monster Card. I'm not really into Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm sorry, but I have a friend who knows a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh. Alright, and finally we have room.
部屋
Heya. Are you starting to feel like you can get around? Let's find out. So we have word search, which doesn't support kana. It would be a pretty weird word search if it did use kana, but I still would have liked it. Let's see. 部屋、
部屋、
水飲み場、
水飲み場、
預かり所、預かり所、
預かり所、
フロントデスク、
フロントデスク、
タクシー乗り場、
タクシー乗り場、
駅、
駅、
電話、
電話、
エスカレーター、
エスカレータ
ロッカ
ー、ロッカ
ー、門。
ー、門。
He'll get the memes. Alright, it's very simple to ask for directions. Simply put in the right word. Where is the taxi stand?
タクシー乗り場はどこですか？
タクシー乗り場はどこですか? Where is the door?
ドアはどこですか？
ドアはどこですか? I don't think we've actually learned the word for door before, but oftentimes we say doa. It's pronounced just like how we say door, pretty much. As long as you remember this phrase in the vocabulary, you'll be able to get around no problem. I'm not feeling that one. Our next lesson will get into something a little meatier. Adjectives. Ooh, okay, now we're gonna get into adjectives. So, there are two kinds of adjectives in Japanese. We categorize them as e-adjectives and not-adjectives. We're gonna start with e-adjectives first. Now I can teach you how to use adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe nouns. There are two types of adjectives, e-adjectives and not-adjectives. They're a little different, so I'll cover not-adjectives later. At least I'm giving you something to look forward to. An e-adjective is an adjective that ends with e. Here are some examples of e-adjectives. Good,
良い、
yoi. We have painful,
痛い、
itai. Beautiful,
美しい、
utsukushi. Fast,
速い、
hayai. Dirty,
汚い、
kitanai. Alright, let's move on. We've actually covered a few e-adjectives before, such as tsuyoi, minikui, yowai, and we also have
涼しい、
suzushi, cool. Although, I'm not sure if I have heard the word suzushi to describe cool. Whenever somebody says something is cool, they usually say kakkoi. So, yeah. Let me see if the Jisho has more information. Suzushi. Oh, it's cool in the more refreshing sense. Oh, well, that would have been nice to know. Remember the colors from lesson 4? The ones that are adjectives are e-adjectives. So yes, remember these: akai, shiroi, aoi, kuroi. These colors, as they're made here, they are e-adjectives. So over half of the words that we're covering in this lesson are actually review words. Oh, actually there's more, there are actually more words here according to the notes I took. E-adjectives can be used like nouns E-adjectives can be used like nouns in sentences. They can also be placed right in front of the word they're describing. So one way you can use the e-adjectives is Haruka wa utsukushii desu.
はるかは美しいです。
We can also say utsukushii haruka desu.
美しい遥かです。
So I think there's a slight nuance as to like how these are used. So basically what we're saying is that Haruka, we know her, she is beautiful. As for Haruka, she is beautiful. Oh yeah, that's something I should absolutely mention. The wa particle, the topic marker, it could be thought of as for. Basically, since we're talking about something, we would say as for. So, yeah, as for Haruka, beautiful. Yes. So, in this next sentence, we are already describing Haruka as beautiful, just in a different way. So, I guess this would be like information we already know. Well, that's actually kind of my guess. I'm not sure about all the nuances in the language, but that's the impression I get with this. See how they're used? One sentence is saying something about me, where the other just says I exist, but still says more about me. And yes, I am a little vain. The really interesting thing about e-adjectives is that they can change tenses, just like des. Whenever changing the tense of an e-adjectives, you need to take the e off at the end. For this chart, remove the e off the e-adjective and replace the word below. Notice that this means the present positive version stays the same. So, present positive ends with e, past positive ends with kata. So, utsukushikatta. Present negative becomes kunai, utsukushikunai. And past negative ends in kunakatta, utsukushikunakata. Try making the sentence, Mr. Sato isn't strong. Don't change the tense of the des, just change the tense of the e-adjective. So we would say, Sato-san wa tsuyoku nai desu. Did you get it right? Sato-san wa tsuyoku nai desu. If so, great. If not, look over how it works and see what you did wrong. The other interesting thing about e-adjectives is that they don't need a des. They can finish the sentence on their own. Since all the conjugation takes place with the e-adjective and not the des is just there for politeness. When speaking informally, it's fine to end the sentence with an e-adjective dropping des completely. I've heard that while I think it might be grammatically correct, it's generally not advised to add da at the end of an e-adjective sentence. So you wouldn't say like Haruka wa utsukushii da. That just doesn't really sound right. You would just say Haruka wa utsukushii. Also, never use the informal word of des da with an e-adjective. Oh, I guess you already kind of covered that. Sato-san wa utsukushii da. This sentence is wrong because it uses da with an e-adjective. I wish they went on a little bit more about why we don't use da. I don't remember where I learned it from. It was probably Jozu Jules. I know I've mentioned him a lot, but do give his channel a watch, because he has some really good advice. He gets a lot of his lessons from another YouTuber who used to upload. I think it was Dolly-san or something. I forget, but he'll tell you. Alright, and here's some more E adjectives to play with. Big,
大きい
oki. Small,
小さい
chisai. Smelly,
臭い
kusai. Hot,
暑い
atsui. Cold,
寒い
samui. Alright, so there we go. Alright, time to see how well you remember these. Flashcards, let's do it.
痛い
It hurts, so painful.
良い
Good.
汚い
Dirty.
暑い
Hot.
寒い
Cold.
小さい
Small.
速い
Fast.
大きい
Big.
臭い
Smelly.
美しい
Tsukushi. Beautiful. Ah, there we go. Now see them in sentences. That's what Bridge Builder is here for. Unfortunately, we can't see these words in kana, so that's a bit of a bummer. He isn't smelly. Kare wa kusakunai desu.
彼は臭くないです
It is hot today. Kyou wa atsui desu.
今日は暑いです
I like fast cats. Watashi wa hayai neko ga suki desu.
私は速い猫が好きです
Mr. Yamada is dirty. Yamada-san wa kitanai de. Wait. Oh. Yeah, kitanai desu.
山田さんは汚いです
For some reason, I thought that was negative because of nai, but no, that's not the case. This isn't painful. Kore wa itakunai desu.
これは痛くないです
Small people are fast. Well, not always. Chisai hito wa hayai desu.
小さい人は速いです
It was cold yesterday. Kino wa samukatta desu.
昨日は寒かったです
Sato was beautiful. Sato-san wa utsukushikatta desu.
佐藤さんは美しかったです
Big people are strong. Ookii hito wa tsuyoi desu.
大きい人は強いです
And last one. This is not good. Kore wa yokunai desu.
これは
Or-
良くないです
Or we could just say, dameda. And there we go. Of course, the only reason that these are called E-adjectives is because there is one more type of adjective. I'll be covering the other type of adjective next time. So, let's go ahead and do that right now. Na adjectives. Before taking a break with easier stuff, let's cover the other type of adjectives, not adjectives. In a way, not adjectives are easier than E-adjectives. They could be used just like nouns for the most part. They even use des the same way. But when using a not adjective to describe a noun, you'll need a na to connect it with the noun after it. As a matter of fact, I think there are some dictionaries and resources that call these adjectival nouns. So basically, these are nouns if they don't have the not in front of them, but when you attach the not in front of them, they can be used as adjectives. Remember that e adjectives use an e, and na adjectives need na, and nouns need a no to modify the following noun. Here are examples of each type in action. See how they work. Utsukushii sensei, a beautiful teacher. Kirei na sensei, a pretty teacher. Nihongo no sensei, a Japanese teacher. Here's a list of some common na adjectives. Notice that some of them already come with the na attached that is needed to connect them with a noun. So, hang on. I do want to bring this up. Kirei na. We've actually learned this word before in one of the previous lessons. It means pretty. Thing is, though, it ends with an E, doesn't it? Yeah, there are some na adjectives that actually do have an E at the end, so you want to be careful with that. E adjectives always have an E in front of them, but na adjectives, there are some that do have the E in them, so you'll just have to know which ones are which, unfortunately. Anyhow, for the words that we are learning, we have poetic,
素敵な
stekina, steki, I wonder if this means like poetry. Yeah, steki, poetic, pointing out, perhaps. Yeah, sticky is a poetic, not adjective. Alright. Let's see. We have rude.
失礼な
Strena. And this is a word that you might know when you're like first dabbling into Japanese. Shitsure. It means rudeness. You might hear this because people will say this phrase, "Oshitsure shimasu," which is a way of saying "excuse me." So I'm trying to remember when it is that people say this. I know they say like "ochamashimasu" when they are like entering somebody's house without express permission. But shitsure shimasu. I don't remember, honestly. That's too bad. But yeah, just keep that phrase in mind. Shitsure shimasu. Shitsure na is a way we can describe someone or something as rude. Like,
好き
ski. We have heard this word before in some of the mini games that we have done. Ski, that is a very common word that we'll be using. We use it to say we like something. And it is also a na adjective. Oh, and yes, as a matter of fact, when in English, like and dislike are verbs, but in Japanese, they are actually nouns. And you attach a na to them and they become adjectives. They are adjectival nouns. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So yeah, we have like,
好
ski,
き
dislike,
嫌い
kirai, and quiet,
静か
shizuka. You probably heard this in anime as well. Suka! When used as a noun, like right before the death, the na should be removed. So, yeah, we can say neko ga suki desu. That actually makes sense as to why we can attach na to them and other times we shouldn't. So yeah, neko ga suki desu. Or if you're really that cruel, neko ga kirai desu. If an adjective ends it with a, ei, in Romaji, then it is a na adjective, not an e adjective. Look carefully at pretty and rude. Kirei and shitsure. But what about kirai? Great, now you got me curious. Yeah, kirai is a na adjective. So, ei, yeah, that tends to be a na adjective, but there are also cases like kirai. So, yeah, for those words, you just have to know. Lastly, like and dislike are verbs in English, but not in Japanese. Isn't that interesting? Omoshiroi desu ne. Here's some more words to work with. We have convenient,
便利な
benrina, skillful,
上手
jouzu. Now, if you paid attention while I was doing the mini games, whenever I click a right answer in, say, multiple choice, on the top screen it flashes the word jouzu. That means skillful. It doesn't necessarily mean correct. In that context, we would use atari. So, yeah, jouzu means you're good at something. Showy, we have
派手な
hadena, polite,
丁寧な
teine. Huh, I always thought teine meant careful. Interesting. It could mean both, yeah. And then honest,
正直な
shojikina,
正直な
shojikina. Alright, let's get you used to these words, then I'll show you examples of them in sentences. Spelltastic. Sure, why not?
派手な
Hadena. That's showy, right?
素
Yes.
敵な
Repeat.
素敵な
Stikina.
正直な
Shojikina. That is honest.
失礼な
Tsureina. Rude.
上手
Jouzu. Skillful.
丁寧な
Teneina. Polite.
好き
Ski. Like. Desirable.
便利な
Benrina. Convenient.
嫌い
Kirai. Dislike. Undesirable.
静か
Shizuka. Quiet. Yeah, it's really easy to spell those words. And frankly, I don't understand why they decided to just have some of these na adjectives like, have not in front of them, while others don't. I guess I can understand if you're, like, easing through with the na adjectives, because, well, it can be a bit of a tricky concept. And hey, Gecko Man, there you are. Alright, like I mentioned before, you can use not adjectives just like nouns, but you need to get rid of the not at the end if there is one. But if you're putting in front of a noun, you need a na to connect them. Check these phrases and see if you can see why they work. So, I like you.
あなたが好きです。
Anata ga suki desu. As you can see, there is no na after ski, because ski is an adjectival noun, so we could just place it here and then add des. Then we have the quiet girl spoke.
静かな女の子は話した。
Shizuka na onna no ko wa hanashita. So, shizuka is quiet, and when we have this to describe onna no ko, the girl, we would attach na to say shizuka na onna no ko. That way you could say that the quiet girl spoke. Ah, happy Mother's Day to you. Have you been spending time with her, or are you hoping to spend time with her later on? I'm going to text her later, Happy Mother's Day. And yes, Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'm not sure if there are any mothers watching, because I don't know what mother wants to see a crocodile babble on about games in Japanese. So, yeah. That is how na adjectives work. Simple compared to e adjectives, right? Also, na adjectives can't be conjugated, so des is used as usual. Let's try putting these together in sentences, except you are giving me word search. Stop that game. Benrina.
便利な、
Kirai.
嫌い、
Teneina.
丁寧な、
Shitsureina.
失礼な、
Harena.
派手な、
Jouzu.
上手、
Suki.
好き、
Shizuka.
静か、
Shojikina.
正直な、
Sutekina.
素敵な。
Very easy. For some of them, you just gotta look for the na. Very easy. It's pathetic. Are you feeling emotional after all those grammatical lessons? Next time we're covering emotions. Alright then. Let's see, I realized that in my notes I actually started writing my own sentences at this point. So, yeah, this is when I decided it would be best for me if I wrote sentences that are a little longer than what the game gives me. So, yeah, I wrote down, I ate sushi with my older brother. Watashi wa anito sushi o tabemashita. Let's see. Got done watching the latest episode of Game Sack. Joe covered the Nintendo DS, but honestly not this game in particular. Well, I'm not sure if people would remember my Japanese coach as, like, a good DS experience. I mean, it's an edutainment game. Who pays attention to those? Alright, next up we're going to do emotions. Emotions are usually easy to use in sentences in Japanese. Many of them are e adjectives, some are not adjectives, some are even verbs. So if you want to say you're happy, you would say
嬉しいです。
ureshii desu. This is polite, of course. You could just say ureshii if you are in a more casual setting. If you want to say somebody is sad, like Suzuki-san, we would say
鈴木さんは悲しいです。
Suzuki-san wa kanashii desu. But before I go over adjectives more, did you notice something's missing from the I'm happy sentence? Oh yeah, that's right. There wasn't anything marked with a wa. The topic or subject wasn't used at all. This is because the topic was unspoken. When it is obvious what the topic is, it is usually not spoken in Japanese. Common unspoken topics are I, you, and it. Yeah, I actually went over this before. Sometimes you don't need a wa because it's obvious through context what we're talking about. Wonder if GameSack will cover educational games in the future. I doubt it, but it'd be an interesting idea if in case he runs low on him. When talking about emotions, the unspoken topic is usually understood to be me. But enough about unspoken subjects, let's get back to talking about emotions. This group of words is a mixture of both adjective types and nouns. Can you tell which words are which types? Let's see. We have happy,
幸せな
shiawase na. We also had ureshi. Interesting. So, does that mean... Yeah, according to my notes, ureshi is not a word that we technically learn in this lesson, which is really weird. So yeah, we instead have shiawase na, obviously a not adjective. Yeah, shiawase means happiness, good fortune, luck, blessing. And then ureshi is happy, glad, pleased, delighted, overjoyed. Joyful, delightful. So there seems to be a slight difference in how they're used. So I guess you would say shiawase when something is like in favor of you. So for sad we have
悲しい
kanashi. Sick we have
病気
byoki. Something this is something I've learned through my Japanese journey. Byoki, when written in kanji, byo, I believe, is when written in kanji, it means sickness, and ki is energy. So let me just double check on the jisho. Yes, sickness and spirit mood. Ki can have a lot of different meanings. We have jealous,
羨まし
urayamashi, sleepy,
い眠い
nemui. So we've heard the word nemuru before to mean to sleep. So nemui is basically that, just as an e adjective. So yeah, shiawase na, obviously a not adjective. Sad, kanashi, is an e adjective. Byoki, that seems like it's a noun. And yeah, it is. It could also be a not adjective to describe someone who is crazy or insane. jealous, urayamashi, that is an E adjective, and nemui, sleepy, that is an E adjective. So just one of these is a noun. One question, will you be playing some Japanese import games like Aicho Ainki for the PC Engine? That game is really weird. I have never heard of that game before. When it comes to, like, Japanese games that I want to play, one game I have in mind is actually Digimon Adventure for the PSP. I think that would be a really good game to play there. I'm also thinking about, like, some Wonder Swan games. Like, there are some Digimon games on Wonder Swan as well, since, well, that console is made by Bandai, who makes Digimon. And there's also a Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon game on Wonder Swan. I'm currently playing Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody. And, yeah. When I'm in the mood, I might check the Wonder Swan game out. Anyhow, next up. This group of words contains conjugated words as well as one noun. The first two are conjugated to mean they are currently happening with base te iru. So, yes, you'll have to know which ones are, like, conjugated in which way. So, for example,
怒っている
okoteiru is the state of being angry, and
心配している
shinpai shiteiru, this is the state of being worried. So, teiru basically is what you... The conjugation of teiru basically means that something is ongoing. That is something important to keep in mind. Next we have
疲れた
tsukareta. This is conjugated in the past sense to mean tired. So if you're tired, you would say, tsukareta. Tsukareta. Then we have drunk.
酔っ払った
Yopparatta. So, yeah, I'm not sure how often that would come up, but, if you're playing the original Pokemon games on the Game Boy, you'll know that old man lying on the ground in Viridian City, or, Tokiwa City, as it's called in Japanese, he's lying on the floor because he's drunk. And in other localizations that got censored so that he is just a cranky old man who hasn't had his coffee yet. Ikari also means anger or wrath. So like Ikari warriors. Oh, and then we also have love.
愛
Ai. Pretty easy one to remember, that one. The next two are already in the past tense. The future tense means that the subject will end up like that. So the past tense means that the subject has finished getting to that emotion and is now in that state. Yeah, this is a pretty important point. To really use love as an emotion, you need to put a suru after it and use an object. Otherwise, it's just a noun. So, if you want to say, I love you, you would say,
あなたを愛している
Anata o aishiteiru. I have love for you, basically. And just like I've said, if you want to say I'm tired, you'd say,
疲れた
Tsukareta. Oh, what is it now, Retrofuge? Oh, that's right. As you can see, just because a word is a certain type in English doesn't make it the same type of word in Japanese. Remember, like is a verb in English, but a not adjective in Japanese. Love in Chinese is also I, but when you say I love you, you say wo ai ni. I definitely butchered that pronunciation. Wo ai ni. Thing is, Chinese is very much more emphasized with inflections, like tones. So you have to know exactly when to like raise and lower your pitch for certain words. That's something I at least know about with Chinese. I'm not really studying the language, but yeah, it's pretty important there. Of course, that sort of thing is important in Japanese, but it's absolutely important in Chinese. Time to get emotional with memory. Let's go ahead and do this. ている幸せな陽気
幸せな
jealous 疲れた This is tired
疲れた
sick 病気
病気
jealous
羨ましい
酔っ払った
払った
love sleepy 眠い
眠い
悲しい sad 愛
愛
心配している
心配している
悲しい sad 怒っている
怒っている
angry. That is correct. The inflections are referred to as pinyin. I should know because I took 2 classes simultaneously in high school, but not Chinese 3, considering how fast my class had progressed. Huh. Ten right out of 10. Are you getting used to Japanese yet? Remember to practice. Either find someone who knows Japanese or someone else who's learning to practice with. Or, you know, you could just watch some YouTube in Japanese. That works fine as well. Do you love games? They're a good way to practice your vocabulary. Gee! You don't say! Let's do some
病
flashcards.
気
Yoki, sick.
心配している
Worried.
悲しい
Sad.
眠い
Sleepy.
幸せな
Happy.
酔っ払った
Drunk.
怒っている
Angry.
愛
Love.
疲れた
Tired.
羨ましい
Jealous. In my old stream of Metroid 2, there's an observation. One of the enemies named Golug, the Japanese onomatopoeia for when you stagger around drunk. Golug, golug, golug. Huh. Alright. It's probably something I can look up in the Jisho. I'm not finding it right away. Let's give that a rest then. Next time we're going to go around and learn more about places. The more you know, the easier it'll be to get around. Alright then, places 2. We're making some pretty good progress this time. Going somewhere? Maybe not yet, but when you do, it will come in handy to know more place names. I've already covered the verb to go, iku. I hope you remember how to use it. There are a few things to remember about iku. One is that base te and base ta are irregular, so instead of ite and ita, it's ite and ita. The other is to mark the place you're going to with a ni particle. Here's a list of important places that you could go to using iku. So we have bank,
銀行
ginko. If you know this in kanji, it's basically the kanji for gold and to go. So a place you go to deposit or withdraw money. Restaurant, we have
レストラン
restaurant. Gas station, we say
ガソリンスタンド
gasoline stando. I don't like how that's written in Romaji there. They could at least put a space there to make it a little easier to read, but yes, it's gasoline stando. For post office, we have
郵便局
yubinkyoku. And for pharmacy, we have
薬局
yakyoku. So, yeah, as you can see, kyoku is a suffix there that indicates a place. Let me just take a look at what it looks like. Ah, yes. The kanji for it means bureau, board, office. So there you go. That'll help a little bit, I guess. Hotel should be an easy word to remember since it was originally an English word. Except you're not giving it to us. But I guess if you want to know, it's hotel. Easy enough. Next we have various shops here. To say a store in general, we would say
店
mise. But then if we want to describe if we want to say a kind of store, we would place the noun and then ya at the end. So as you can see,
本屋
honya, bookstore,
パン屋
panya, bread store,
カメラ屋
kameraya, camera shop. Hotel should be... You're just repeating that. And the other one is so long that they decided to give an extra page to it. Supermarket.
スーパーマーケット
Supermarket. Yeah, people speaking will not say supermarket. That's just a handful. So people would just shorten it to super. They'll know what you're talking about when you just say super. Can you find all the places you can go to with a word search? Let's do it.
郵便局ガソリンスタンド
Wait.
飛行場
Aw, man, you messed up, game.
レストラン
Hikojo means airport.
ホテル
Kutsuya.
靴屋
Kutsuya is shoe store.
銀行病院
Byoin, this is hospital.
薬局
And home, that is just ie, isn't it? It could also be uchi. There it is. Yeah, the game really messed up this time. They gave you words that they didn't even, like, give out to you in the lesson. Like, how bad can you be about this game? So, yeah, in addition to the words that we have covered before our mini-game there, we also have 4 other words, or, well, 5 other words. We have hotel, hotel, ie, home, byoin, hospital, hikojo, airport, and kutsuya, shoe store. When I was localizing the Gex manga, I pulled a Viz Media with localizing the supermarket as Gex, a now out-of-business government supermarket, to help make it one of those that is on the nose. Huh. I was not really aware of that. Take a minute and try to make some simple sentences with the words you just learned. Being able to make your own sentences is a good sign that you're learning. Yeah. Also remember to conjugate your verbs to show the correct tense. There's a big difference between I will go to the hospital and I won't go to the hospital. So if we want to say I will go to the hospital, we would say 病院に行きます. And I won't go to the hospital, 病院に行きません. Or if we want to say it casually, we could just say 病院に行く, or just 病院行く. Or we could say for I won't go to the hospital, 病院行, it's 行かない, right? 行かない. Yeah. Here's some example sentences to study. I went to the hospital.
病院に行きました。
病院に行きました. I will go to the bank.
銀行に行きます。
銀行に行きます. Notice that specific shops just have a yeah after the objects being sold there. Yeah, I've already covered that. Also add in there kutsuya. I'm going to go get some shopping done while you work on this game. Don't wait up. Alright, well, it's memory. Bread store. Oh, jeez. Which one's super... Ah.
スーパーマーケット。
Pharmacy.
Gasoline stand.
銀行.
銀行。 レストラン。カメラ屋。
パン屋。
パン屋。
郵便局。
郵便局。店。薬局。本屋。
Whew! Last second. That's all the places for now. Once you master the words here, I'll treat you to something new. Commands. Alright, that also means a new conjugation that we're going to explore. But for right now, since we've hit the 5-lesson checkmark, checkpoint, I should say, we're going to take a little bit of a break. So, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I just, was peeling some carrots for dinner. Let's see, I seem to have gotten a few chat messages while I was gone. I learned a little bit of Japanese from GameSack. Banku also means bank, but it's a different definition. This implies storage for data. Oh, I see. So, like, data banks. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when you're talking about a money bank, you would say ginko. I mean, it's in the kanji, once you know it. You may have to start your entire playthrough all over again? Oh no! Picked up half your audio. What, you mean only the left side of your ear? Or something? Or did it just, like, cut off at the halfway point or something? That kind of stinks. I've definitely had my fair share of instances where I was recording a playthrough for YouTube, and one of the episodes, like, I forgot to hit the unmute button on my mic, so I ended up playing the game with no audio, and then I would have to, like, play that again. Either that, or I would have to resort to post-commentary. I did both! I did both at least once. Using a crappy ancient mic/webcam combo. Huh, I didn't know there was like a mic-webcam combo. Alright then, let's get back to my Japanese coach. We'll be talking about commands this time. Don't do that! Come here! Help me! Commands are a powerful part of any language. One of the most important things to know about commands is that there are two main types: do commands and don't commands. The second most important thing to know is that there are different levels of commands. The different levels are all in politeness. There are nicer ways to command and less polite ways to command. Here's some of the ways to command someone to do something. The most polite is at the top and the least polite is at the bottom. So we have beiste kudasai, and then beiste is slightly less polite. For the lowest level of politeness, it gets a little more confusing. This is because it changes depending on the verb type. So, godan, we do base 4, or ichidan, base 2. So, for godan verbs, okay, I know this is an irregular, but when it comes to the 5 bases, iku is actually functions just like a godan verb. So yeah, an example of that would be ike, to go. You'll hear that in some anime, ike! And then ichidan, we have base 2 ro. So for example, to stop, that is actually a word that we don't know yet, but you'll come across this a lot in anime as well. One of the words that means to stop or to quit is yameru. So when we want to give it a command, we would conjugate it as yamero. Yamero! So like that. You remember how to tell the different verb types, right? But that only covers godan and ichidan verbs. Here are the irregular verbs. So yeah, I already mentioned ike. For Suru, it is Shiro, and for Kuru, it's Koi. So, if anybody has played Super Smash Bros. Melee in the Japanese language and you played as Fox, whenever he taunts in English, he says, "come on," but in Japanese, he would say, "Kakatte koi!" which basically means, "come at me." So, here's some examples of these commands in practice. So, help me, we say, "tasukete."
助けて
"Tasukete!" And, I already mentioned this, but quit it.
やめろ
Yamero! Here are the basic commands for someone to not do something. The most polite is at the top, the least polite is at the bottom. So, most polite is base 1, naite kudasai. Then we have base 1, naide kudasai. Base 1, naide, and base 3, excuse me, base 3, na. See how the most polite ways to command both have kudasai on them? It means please, but shouldn't be used by itself. Here's some verbs that work well with commands. So, yeah, we have help,
助ける
taskeru, tasukete, help me.
やめる
To quit or stop, yameru. To stand,
立つ
tatsu, tatte. Wait, tatsu is a, Godan verb, right? I want to say it is. To become,
なる
naru. And to shut up,
黙る
damaru. Although, I don't think I've heard damaru, enough. Usually when I think of shut up, I usually hear urusai, which actually means noisy, but it is a way of saying, like, enough, or shut up. Ah, Gecko Man has returned. One piece of Japanese I also learned from Gato, Mark of the Wolves on the Neo Geo. Rock would say in round 1, "Ode nani jinara," which, when I watched One Piece, Zoro said that same line. It translates to, "Now what is all that for?" "Ode nani jinara." Interesting. Don't you feel like giving commands right now?
取る
Let's see. Toru. Let's see. So, toru. I believe that is a Godan verb. So, or is it Ichidan? Which one works better? Would it be tore? Torero? Torero? Tore sounds more like it'd be there.
買う
Buy, kau. To sell,
売る
uru. To search,
探す
sagasu. To apologize,
謝る
ayamaru. Japanese Peter be like, damaru meg. The Gex games have a lot of the English text taken out in the Japanese versions, if I remember correctly. Yeah, in Gex Enter the Gecko, in the Japanese version known as Spintail, basically anything that has text, almost anything that has text is removed for some reason. I don't know why they didn't just translate the text, considering they basically already did that for the level names, just not for the labels on the TVs. And funnily enough, the Gexzilla versus Mecha Res fight also had, like, its text removed on the buildings, which makes no freaking sense considering it takes place in, like, Japan. It's really weird, and I don't understand why that happened. It removes 90% of the visual jokes. Well, yeah, a lot of the visual jokes that, I don't think the Japanese would have really, like, gotten a lot of those jokes. Time for some mastery. Get those words learned. Alright, to become...
なる
this doesn't...
黙る
This doesn't support kana.
助ける取る
To sell... 売る
売る
Apologize.
謝
Ayamaru.
る
To search. 探す
探す
To stand. 立つ To quit. やめる To buy. 買う
買う
Practice giving commands to your friends and family, or even your pets. You're doing so well. Here's a brand new game to practice with. Oh, fill in the blank. I actually don't remember this one, to be honest. Let's see, the Japanese version of Gex 2 and I believe Famitsu scored the game of 45%. Spyro in Japan also had a negative reception due to 3D sickness. Yeah, I've heard about the whole 3D sickness thing. I think that's why Spyro 1 was released the way it was with the zoomed out camera, because I think it was during playtesting that people experienced 3D sickness, so they locked the actual, like, camera and controls of the original game behind, like, I think there was a code? It was like a director's cut mode. It's really strange. I don't know what this whole 3D sickness is, but yeah. With that said, though, wouldn't Sonic Adventure, like, be prone to 3D sickness as well? Because, you know, you're going fast and it's 3D. I would think that game would give people 3D sickness. Maybe it's different in, like, more polygonal games, like on PlayStation or Saturn. And I guess luckily there was no 3D Sonic game on Saturn, unless you want to count Sonic R or, heck, even Sonic Jam with its, like, open world demo thing. Anyway, let's see what this fill in the blank is all about. Oh, we gotta do more spelling. Let's see. Sore o ka... I have to think about this. Kaenaide. Oh, kawanaide. My bad. Sell this to me. Kore o watashi ni... Ure? Would we add ute? Oh, did we go over base te? With commands? I totally forgot. Please don't search for me. Boku wo saga... sanai... Sagasanai de. Don't take my cat. Watashi no neko toranai de. Watashi o tasukete kudasai. Kanojo ni... Was it... Alayama... Dang it. Let me see if I got that word. Ayamaru. Yeah, fill in the blank. It's really challenging me with those combinations. I don't really do conjugation practice for commands enough, or like conjugation practices in general. I really should get on that. You want to talk about video game sickness? Try having a Virtual Boy strapped to your face for a few minutes. Oh right, the Virtual Boy. You know, sometimes I forget that's a thing. I don't know why. You could argue the same thing about Mario 64 giving 3D sickness, but it was more beloved than those games. If you ask me, the 3D sickness malarkey is nothing more than some straw man argument. Or perhaps, well, I guess the thing is, since video games kind of were, like, sort of still young, I guess people were still trying to think about how to, like, warn people about motion sickness and stuff. But yeah, there should be, like, people who, you know, can get used to those sort of things. Those sorts of things. Especially the case when we have VR, you know? Because I could certainly get motion sick from playing VR. Because I'm not used to it. I'm not used to having a whole world, like, shown in my eyes like that. Alright, you know what, let me retry this one. Ayamate. Oh, it really is two T's. Ayamate. Watashi o tasukete kudasai. Watashi no neko toranai de. Stand here, please. Koko de tate kudasai. Or is it tate? Ugh! Right. Neko ni naruna.
Neko ni naru na.
Okay, that one actually has a voice clip. Sore o kawanai de. Please shut up. What is to shut up? Damaru. Damare. Ugh! I think I need to, practice these on my own. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I really need to just, like, practice these on my own. I kinda suck at this. I remember Nathaniel Bandy tried Super Mario 64 in VR and ended up having his own 3D sickness. Yeah, VR can totally do that to you. Though we'll probably, like, evolve so that, like, that doesn't really happen to us that much. 'Cause, you know, I was basically born playing 3D platformers, so it never really bothered me. Next time I'll cover directions. Then you won't have to be lost in Japan. Alright, let's move forward. Oh yeah, we got a new locale to talk about. Sapporo. Sapporo is the capital of Hokkaido and Japan's 5th largest city. Sapporo is also one of the nation's youngest major cities. The Virtual Boy was notorious for giving people eye strain and headaches within minutes, but that's nothing on the R-Zone, which did it immediately. I forget what the R-Zone actually is. Is that also a virtual reality thing? I only recognize that name from, like, the old GT Countdown, like, list of worst consoles. That was number 2, I believe. Let's see. You might ask, Haruka, I know how to say that I'm going to a place, but how do I get there? Don't worry, I'll teach you how. When people are telling you how to get somewhere, they will most likely use one of the command forms that are covered last time, like turn right at the corner. Learn this list of directional words. So we have right, migi, left, hidari, straight, massugu. That is straight ahead, up, ue, down, shita. I take a left, right, elevator, elevator. So something worth noting about Japanese, there isn't really a true V kana, so they would instead use the B kanas. So they would say elevator. Though I guess in certain special cases you might see I think it's like an U kana with a dakuten. So yeah, that could be vu, or if you add a small a to it, you would see a. So for example, you would see supernova spelled that way. Like if you saw Safer Sephiroth use that move in FF7, it would be spelled with that special kana. Yes, the R-Zone was Tiger Electronics' answer to the Virtual Boy, both within inches of your eye in red and black. Ugh! That doesn't sound like a fun time. The R-Zone looked like the Scouter from Dragon Ball Z, but as bad as it was, it pales in comparison to the LJN video art. Not only is it the worst video game system, it's also one of the worst toys. Oh yeah, I saw the AVGN cover that. Why the hell would you make art with a joystick? Like, really? And it only moves in 8 directions, and with how sensitive it is, you'll have to check it out on your own. The R-Zone, however, only covered one eye, so you had to either go cross-eyed or cover one eye. Oh my gosh, really? It only covers one eye? Jeez, I guess that's another reason why you want to be a pirate, huh? I don't think even pirates would want to touch the R-Zone. Anyway, to turn, magaru. Stairs, kaidan. Door, we've encountered this before. And corner, kado. Keep practicing these words until they're firmly lodged in your head. The people at LJN were all high, drunk, and stoned all at the same time. That must be why they're seeing rainbows. They probably drank Jerry Garcia's tap water. Which, by the way, it's perfectly safe at PAX East. It's just water. Don't worry about it. No, I was not at PAX East. I wish I was.
下、
Sta, down,
上、
ue, up,
曲がる、
magaru, to turn,
エレベーター、
elevator,
ドア、
door,
角、
kado, corner,
まっすぐ、
masugu, straight,
右、
miki, right,
左、
hidari, left,
階段、
kaidan, stairs. There we go. Don't forget that the base te form of iku is ite. Right. I think you need some more practice before you've got all these words mastered. Right. Let's fill in the blank once again. Let's see. Oh, or we could be spelling the nouns here. Elevator. We want to use the dash there. Go to that door. Sono doa ni ite kudasai. I went down. Watashi wa shita ni ikimashita.
私は下に行きました。
そこの右にあります。
そこの右にあります。
There's a book on top of the car. 本は車の上にあります。上 also means top,
本
by the
は
way.
車の上にあります。
そこで、okay, do they want me to say magaru, the base, or do they want me to make it a command, magate? They want me to make it a I really would like it for the game to be more clear about that. That's actually a big problem with this fill-in-the-blank mini-game. They don't tell you if you could use the, like, base dictionary verb for a sentence like that, or they, like, want you to use the command form. Let's see. Hidari.
そこで左に曲がってください。
階段. まっすぐ.
まっすぐに行ってください。そこの角で曲がってください。
There we go. Alright, keep practicing. Next time I'll be covering nations. You're really going places now. Oh, thunderstorm outside and your internet is not the best. Okay, well, have a good day, Warevo. I hope things get better for your, recording. Alright, next up, we're gonna learn about nations. As you can see below, we are going to learn how to say the names of different nations in Japanese. So we have Japan,
日本、
Nihon. We have covered this somewhat before when we learned about Nihonjin and Nihongo. For China, we have
中国、
Chugoku, which means a central country, I think. Yeah. Let's see. For the United States, we say
アメリカ、
America. For Spain, we say
スペイン、
Spain. For France, we
フ
say
ランス、
France. From is another particle. It is put after the place name. So, from is
から、
kara. So now you could say you are from somewhere. Anyway, the rest of the nations, Russia,
ロシア、
Russia, Germany,
ドイツ、
Deutsch. For Italy,
イタリア、
Italia, and England,
イギリス、
Igris. Most of these are similar to English, so I assume you'll get through this game fast. Yeah.
日本、
America,
アメリカ、
Igris,
イギリス、
Deutsch,
ドイツ、
France,
フランス、
Spain,
スペイン、
Kara,
から、
Russia,
ロシア、
中国,
中国、
Italia.
イタリア、
Yeah, that was pretty fast, I'd say. Using iku, you can tell about the places you are going to and where you've been. So, I will go to Japan.
日本に行く、
Nihon ni iku. This is in the casual form, so if we want to say that more politely, we would say Nihon ni ikimasu. Now, you might also see Nihon pronounced as Nippon instead. I think that just gives a little more respect to Japan, but you'll tend to hear it either way. Anyway, next we have I went to France.
フランスに行きました。
France ni ikimashita. Once again, this is polite. So if we're doing this casually, we would say France ni ik. I gotta remember this. Ikata. No, ita. Right. Ita. Base ta is casual past tense. To say what country you're from, use the verb kuru to come. Literally, you say you came from a place. So, Haruka is from Japan.
はるかは日本から来ました。
Haruka wa Nihon kara kimashita. Carlo is from Italy.
カルロさんはイタリアから来ました。
Carlo-san wa Italia kara kimashita. Every bit of Japanese that I teach you can be put together in all sorts of different ways. Can you see how to put it all together to make yourself understood? As long as you get enough practice in, you'll do fine. Alright, bridge builder. This probably isn't going to be that impressive, but I'll do it anyway.
Haruka wa Nihon kara kimashita.
Italy is beautiful. Italia wa utsukushii desu.
イタリアは美しいです。
She came from England. 彼女はイギリスから来ました。
彼女はイギリスから来ました。
He went to Spain yesterday. 彼は昨日スペインに行きました。Oh. 昨日彼はスペインに行きました。
昨日彼はスペインに行きました。
Let's see. What? Oh. Wow, that's weird. I like France. 私はフランスが好きです。
私はフランスが好きです。
China is big. 中国は大きいです。
中国は大きいです。
He came from Germany. 彼は、don't confuse 彼 with から。彼はドイツから来た。
彼はドイツから来た。
Where are you from? あなたはどこから来ましたか？
あなたはどこから来ましたか？
The United States is America. Oh, well, this is interesting. 国際連合はアメリカです。
国際連合はアメリカです。
国際連合. That is the word for United States. Russia is cold. ロシアは寒いです。
ロシアは寒い。
Alright, let's see. What really hurt LJN early on with their toys were their Intertech toy water guns that looked like real guns. Thus, police officers actually shot kids. This was not a good look for LJN in the late 80s. Wait, what does that mean? Intertech, is that their brand? Toy water guns looked like real guns. So... Oh, crap. I know what you mean then. Somebody, like, mistook the real gun for the water gun. And they actually shot a kid instead, like, for real instead of shooting water. Oh, that's bad. That's probably why, like, toy companies went so hard to, like, make sure guns don't look, like, toy guns don't look too real, like with the NES Sapper. Yeah, that's actually really good knowledge for me. Not that I'm, like, researching this sort of stuff, but it's very interesting, but also, wow, how sad. That's all for this lesson. Next up, more particles. Ganbatte. Alright, so more particles. Let's go ahead and do that. That's right, there are even more particles for you to learn. So let's get started. Here's the list of new particles. Of course, each of these will need some explanation. So we have or, ka, to, e. Now, it's written as he, but it's pronounced e. Yeah, another one of those. And etc.
Ya.
Ya. Even, demo.
Demo.
Verb to noun.
Koto.
Koto. So let's have Haruka explain these. Ga goes between two words to mean or, but remember that, ka goes between two words to mean or, but remember that at the end of the sentence it still marks a question. E has the same directional meaning as ni, but cannot be used to mark time or any of the other uses of ni. Be sure to check the sound. Yeah, e is only used for locations. It does not mark time or any of that stuff. So, next we have ya. Ya is very similar to to. The major difference is that to refers to a complete list, but ya lets people know that there is more that is not being said. If you said you had bread to water, pan to mizu for dinner, people might feel sorry for you. But if you say pan ya mizu, they'll know you ate more. Demo is used to say even. This is connected to the word right before it. You might also hear demo to mean like but, to like a contradiction of, like to say something that is like a contradiction of what you said earlier, I guess. That kind of but. So let's see. Kare demo Nihongo ga wakaru. Kare demo Nihongo ga wakaru. Even he understands Japanese. Kare wa Nihongo demo wakaru. He even understands Japanese. Intertech was LJN's line of water guns, meant to compete against the new, at the time, Super Soakers. I see. Last for this group of particles is koto. It is placed after a verb in dictionary form to turn the verb into a noun. The same thing happens in English, where we basically add ing. Run, running, dance, dancing. So pretty similar to that. Just as you can't say I like run in English, there are times that you will need a noun instead of a verb in Japanese. So we can't say manabu ga suki desu. That just doesn't really work. We instead have to say manabu koto ga suki desu.
学ぶことが好きです。
That turns manabu, to learn, into a noun. Now, you might also see the particle no. That is also a nominalizer, so you might also see that to change a verb into a noun. So, manabu no ga suki desu. I don't know what the difference is, though. I think for that you might need to resort to Kaname Naito. He is another fantastic YouTuber who will help you get like all the nuances and unwritten rules of Japanese that they don't really teach you in textbooks. So be sure to check out his channel as well. Anyway, to say Yamada hates dancing, we don't say Yamada-san wa odoru ga kirai desu. We would have to add koto here. We would say
山田さんは踊ることが嫌いです。
Yamada-san wa odoru koto ga kirai desu. Look at each of these and make a sentence using each particle. I wonder if I actually did that in my notes. Let me see. Oh, turns out I did. Let's see the ones I wrote here. Asoko ni migi ka hidari ga magaru ka? Asoko ni migi ka hidari ga magaru ka? Sorry, I'm still kind of new to reading, just reading Japanese out loud. I don't think we covered the word asoko. I don't think we did, but asoko means over there. So basically, what it translates to is, do I turn left or right over there? You know what? How about I do this? I can add text, basically, to OBS here. And I can just, type these out. Alright, let's see. Just want to make sure it's, Can there be, yeah, an outline is fine. Make the outline a bit bigger. There we go. Make it even bigger. Let's add a little color here to make it stand out. There we go. That helps. Let me make this a little smaller. Actually, nah, let's keep it like this. And let's make the font U. I like fonts like this. So let's see. Let's see. Asoko ni. Wait. Yumincho. There's probably a better font for this so that I don't have to, like, squeeze it that much. Is it NP? NK? Yeah, that works. Asoko ni migi ka hidari ga. Actually, would I use ga? I think if I remember correctly, I might have typed this into DeepL or something to get that exactly. Asoko ni migi ka hidari ga magaru ka. So, as you can see, asoko means over there. I don't think that's a word we've learned yet, but that is what means over there. We would say that when something we're talking about is far away from both the listener and the speaker. Migi ka hidari, right or left, ga. Magaru, to turn, ka. So, do I turn left or right over there? Or right or left over there? So that's what that means. That's an example of the ka particle in use. Next we have the e particle. Let's see. I wrote here, Watashi no oba wa Spain e ikimashita. My aunt went to Spain. So let me type this out. Watashi no oba wa Spain e ikimashita. Watashi no oba wa Spain e ikimashita. Oh, iPad battery's really low. Okay, see you, Gecko Man. You don't mind if I call you that, right? Gecko 1993 sounds a little bit too, you know. And I guess I'm calling you that because it's, I guess, just we have a little more of a connection, I guess. It's familiar language. All right, so yeah, I'll see you later. All right, next up is the ya particle, which means and, used when there's more than what's listed. Oh, I wrote a long one for this one. Watashi wa watashi no haha wa. I don't think the watashi no is necessary here, so let's just say haha wa スーパーマーケットにリンゴやバナナを借りました Why did I say 借りました It should be 買いました I guess I just wrote that incorrectly. So yeah, let's type this out. Haha wa. Right. So, yeah. It looks like ha ha ha, but it's ha ha wa. Little things like this make it so that kanji becomes really useful. So I'm just going to use the kanji for mother. This is for haha. Haha wa supa. I'm just going to shorten it to supa. Ni. Ringo ya banana o kaimashita. Haha wa super ni ringo ya banana o kaimashita. My mother went to the supermarket and bought. Actually, I think it's more like my mother bought apples and bananas and others implied at the supermarket. I think if we wanted to say my mother went to the supermarket to buy apples and bananas, I think that would be something. That would be arranged with something else. Alright, next up, demo. Actually, I just duplicated the... For demo and koto, I basically duplicated what was already there. So, let's see... Let me see if I could just come up with a sentence on the spot. Let's see. Let's see. Oni-san. I know I'm writing kanji here, but this is Oni-san, my older brother. Oni-san demo ninjin ga suki desu. Oni-san demo ninjin ga suki desu. Even my older brother likes carrots. Yeah, we haven't learned ninjin yet, but that means carrot. Yeah, I know we didn't learn about foods, and I already had written down like food words in my notes here, but that's because I actually did know a bunch of food words before I actually played my Japanese coach. They don't tell you the, actually, now that I think about it, the very next lesson is when they start giving you the words for foods. So, I guess that's good. Gives you a little something to look forward to. Alright. And then, for koto, I think I'll just get something from something I was studying. here. Oka-san. Hoka ni o tetsudai suru koto nai? Oka-san, hoka ni o tetsudai suru koto nai? Mother, is there anything else I can help you with? So, yeah, I use koto here. Oka-san, mother. Hoka ni, other things. Hoka ni o tetsudai, to help out. Tetsudai suru. This is the verb to help out. Koto makes this a noun. And then the nai here is just asking, like, is there anything else I can help you with? It might be a little bit beyond our level right now, but that's something to keep in mind. Alright, let's actually move forward now. That's a lot to cover in one lesson. Take a breather if you need to. Continue onward when you're ready. Alright, now I'm going to tell you about a new type of particles. Sentence-ending particles. Oh yeah. As you may have already guessed, these particles go at the end of a sentence. This means after the des of the verb. Oh, the des or the verb. Here they are, the main grouping of sentence-ending particles. We have confirmation-ending particle, ne.
Ne.
Exclamation, na.
Na.
Assertive sentence ender,
Yo.
yo. Feminine sentence ender,
Wa.
wa. But,
Ga.
ga. Confirmation is saying things like huh, or you know. It's not really a question, but asks for a confirmation, you know? So, yeah, basically, you say the ne sentence ending particle to soften a statement and to sort of invite agreeableness. It's basically like saying, hey, isn't this weather hot today? So, yeah, if you say kyo wa atsui desu, you say, man, it's so hot. It's so hot today. But if we add a ne, you would say, it's hot, isn't it? Or don't you think it's hot out? Something like that. The exclamation na expresses how impressed you are. Wow, man, etc. When being assertive, you should use yo. Being assertive means that you are trying to emphasize what you are saying. The emphasis lets people know that you are very sure of what you're saying. It is also useful for expressing new information to people. The wa particle is mostly used by women. It can be used like yo to soften a sentence with a feminine touch. But it's not used so much by young women nowadays. I'm mostly telling you so that you can recognize it when you hear it. You might actually hear wa yo in combination. So that's something you need to pay attention to. Okay, let's recap on the particles. Ne, confirmation, na, exclamation, yo, assertive, wa, feminine assertiveness, or a softener, and then there's ga, but. Of course, I also mentioned demo. You might also hear kedo. Anyhow, the best way to learn these particles is through practice.
え
Eh.
こと
Koto. Verb to noun.
でも
Even.
は
Feminine.
か
Or.
や
List and etc.
よ
Assertive.
が
But.
な
Exclamation.
ね
Confirmation. It would be great if the next lesson allows us to, like, see these in sentences. I expected too much out of you, game. I'm not doing that. Whew, that was a lot to cover. Make sure you can use these in sentences before moving on. Yeah, we gotta do it ourselves, because the game won't do it for us. With the mini games, which it very well could have, you know? Nah. Next time we'll cover something a little more delicious. I'm licking my lips just thinking about it. Yep. Next, we're doing fruits. This will be our last lesson for the day. We're going to take it easy for the next few lessons and just talk about food. Everyone eats. It's time to talk about hoshi. Hoshi is an e adjective that means want. This is used for wanting nouns, not for saying that you want to do something. But be careful, Japanese people do not express their desire directly. It is thought to be undisciplined or too childish to express one's desire directly. But I'll tell you more about that in a minute. For now, let's learn about kudamono, fruits. So we have grapes,
ぶど
budou, strawberries,
ういちご
ichigo, apples,
りんご
ringo, peaches,
もも
momo, watermelon,
スイカ
suika. Now for some easier ones. These all sound a lot like they do in English. Oranges,
オレンジ
orange, lemons,
レモン
lemon, bananas,
バナナ
banana, pineapples,
パイナップル
pineapple, and melons,
メロン
melon. So yeah, these 5 are super easy. Take some time to practice the new words. I guess to get used to, like, how they would be spelled in Japanese.
もも
Momo. That's an easy one. Peach.
いちご
Ichigo. Strawberry. Or that one guy from Bleach.
Budou.
Budou. Grapes.
バナナ
Banana. Exactly what you think it is.
メロン
Melon.
パイナップル
Pine. Apple.
スイカ
Suika. Watermelon.
レモン
Lemon.
リンゴ
Ringo. Apples. Oops.
オレンジ
Orange. Oranges. 16 seconds to spare. What an easy mini game. When you want to say that you want something, just say ... ga hoshii desu. Remember that since hoshi is an e adjective, the des is just there for politeness. So if you want to say, I want strawberries, you say,
いちごが欲しいんです。
Ichigo ga hoshin desu. Or if you want to say, I want watermelon,
スイカが欲しいんです。
Suika ga hoshin desu. Now, you're probably wondering why there's an by the, before the des there. Basically what des means, I'm not sure if the game goes over this, but basically it means, it's like, oh, how do I describe this? I mean, for one thing, it is short for no des, but the thing is, this is an adjective we're dealing with. It's supposed to be like, this is the reason why something. But I'm not sure if I can really describe it in this context. Anyway, I'm gonna type in hoshi in this, in the Jisho here. Hoshi is an e adjective, wanting to have, desiring, wishing for. I think there's some other words that are similar to this, but they are used differently. But yeah, I guess just don't worry too much about the ndes right now. We can just cover it whenever a better example comes up. Frankly, I just don't have very high expectations for this game, so yeah. Since hoshi is an e adjective, the ndes is to make it sound more indirect. By explaining the situation, it is that I want. Okay, actually that does help. It explains the situation, the ndes. It doesn't make a critical note of the ndes, and I wish it did, but that's what it is. Now when someone asks you, "Nanika hoshii desu ka?" you'll know how to respond.
何が欲しいですか？
"Nani ga hoshii desu ka?"
車が欲しいです。
Kurama ga hoshii desu. Man, I am stumbling with my words. Also, don't forget how to conjugate e adjectives and when to be disciplined. I don't want this.
これが欲しくない。
Kore ga hoshikunai. I wanted that.
これが欲しかった。
Sore ga hoshikatta. Try using the correct form of hoshi in this game. Well, let's try it out. Well, except I'm doing the vocab words.
僕の
Great.
スイカを食べましたか？
Game, you lied to me! Stop lying
山田さ
to
ん
me!
はオレンジが好きですか？レモンが欲しい。
Watashi wa pineapple ga hoshikunai desu.
私はパイナップルが欲しくないんです。
Ringo wo kaimashita.
リンゴを買いました。
Melon ga hoshikunai desu.
メロンが欲しくないんです。
Watashi wa budou wo tamemashita.
私はブドウを食べました。
Sato-san wa ichigo ga hoshii desu ka?
佐藤さんはイチゴが欲しいんですか？
Banana wo kaimashita ka?
バナナを買いましたか？
Watashi wa momo ga hoshii desu.
私は桃が欲しいんです。
Next time I'll be focusing on vegetables. Don't forget to eat your vegetables! Eat vegetables with every meal or your skin will stop. Sorry. Alright, and that is the last lesson I'm going to do in my Japanese coach for today. I'm not sure if I want to end this now, though, because I would like to try to get a better feeling of ndes, because I think it's really important to know about that. It's just, this game doesn't really do a good job at telling you what it's for. It only, like, glosses over it. So, anyway, in the next lessons, we are going to be doing more food stuff, vegetables, meat, other foods. Then we're gonna start getting into some kanji. Ooh. This is probably the most threatening part of learning Japanese to newcomers. But we'll try to make it fun. Connecting sentences, desire, to do, needs, emergency. So yeah, they'll slowly be giving us some new kanji. We'll be learning 10 at a time there. So there we go. So let's see. I'm gonna pull something up on... what is it? I'm gonna pull something up on my internet browser. I'm gonna see if there's a good spot to learn about ndes. Maybe Tofugu, maybe Tai Kim's grammar. Grammar. Ah, yes, Tofugu. Let's see, I think I will... Can I do the... Oh. Let's open it like this. There we go. And, my head's a little bit in the way there. There we go. I'll even zoom this in for you. So, Tofugu here has an article about nda, ndes, noda, nodes. So let's see what it has to say. Nda and its variants, ndes, noda, nodes, usually come at the end of a sentence and add an explanatory feel to the sentence. So basically, I am explaining that I want grapes, or I don't want watermelon, let's say. But should the explanation be implied? Would the explanation be implied, or, like, we can't just throw this around willy-nilly, right? The basic function of these is to fill the gap of understanding between a speaker and a listener, so you often use them to explain something or resolve misunderstandings. Using one makes the sentence sound as if you are trying to share the piece of information in order to fill the blanks. Often it's some context that your listener is missing. An example, let's say today is your lucky day. You unintentionally impressed your date by helping out an Italian tourist who was lost. Your date didn't know you could speak Italian, so they looked surprised and confused. In this situation, you may say something like, Jitsu wa Italia de sodattanda. In fact, Jitsu wa Italia de, in Italy, sodattanda. I actually grew up in Italy, with an implied it's because. Simply saying Jitsu wa Italia de sodatta without adding nda still gives the same information, but it doesn't sound quite as natural and may come off as a random statement. On the other hand, adding nda creates a natural flow for you to complete the context by explaining why you can speak Italian, which is something your date is obviously wondering. So even though it's not a universal translation, the nuance nda adds in this case is almost like it's because. Whether or not your date explicitly asks why you speak Italian, it's natural to use nda in this case. So, hopefully that clears things up. Does this go over Hoshi in any way? Let me see if I can, pull up the find here. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it has that. Let's see, beyond the basics, nda and ndeska for realization, no and ndeska for seeking explanation, nda for introducing a new topic, nda for commands. So yeah, this is something you can look at on Tofugu. I'm gonna see if I can search for, Hoshi. Want. Te Hoshi. Yeah, I guess it's Te Hoshi. Although we've always used Gahoshi for, Gahoshi. Gahoshi, it's over here. Let's see. To express desire for something, we use hoshi in Japanese. So if you want a soujiki, a vacuum cleaner, or more literally a cleaning machine, you could say soujiki ga hoshi to mean I want a vacuum cleaner. But if you want someone to do something, maybe you have a roommate who never helps out with the chores, for example, and you want them to vacuum, for these kinds of desires you use te hoshi. Okay, that's probably something we're going to learn later on in my Japanese coach. Yeah, in lesson 46 we learn about base te hoshi. So yeah, that's something we'll cover right then. So I guess that's all for now. So thank you for learning Japanese with me, and I think next time tomorrow, I'm thinking at 5:30 will be when I stream playing a little bit of Monster Sanctuary. So tune in for that if you're interested, and with that, I will see you all next time. This is Dylus signing off.